Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and welcome. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. Good morning and welcome into this space. How are y'all feeling? Come on in. I'm going to give you just a little bit of time to see that I am here on this beautiful Thursday. I missed a day on yesterday. Y'all, please excuse me. Had doctor's appointment that went longer than expected, lots of behind the scenes things. And so we don't always get to do the things that we want to do, right? But it is Thursday, and this is your 11 a.m. talk with Angel Charmaine. And let me tell you, woo, today's topic is so necessary. It is so necessary. Authenticity is powerful, but oversharing can sabotage your leadership. And so that is what we're going to talk about on today. So you all come on into the space. Let me know that you're here. Y'all know how this works. If you are in the building, y'all already know the housekeeping. If you are going to be in this space with me today, then come on in. Say hello, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is for you, wherever you are in the world. And make sure that you put it in the comments. Help to keep my chat stimulated. Don't just lurk. This all week we've been talking about leadership. Leaders don't lurk. We are observant and we are careful and we are cognizant of where we are and who's around us, but we don't lurk, right? So if you are in the building, if you're in the place to be today, please make sure that you make yourself known. Say something in the chat so that I can personally greet you and welcome you into the space. So for those of you who have not been traveling with us this week, we have been talking about authenticity and leadership. And please forgive me if I'm not as bright and shiny as I normally am, y'all. I am not feeling 100% today, but guess what? Leaders know when they have to push through and they know when to rest. And so I am pushing through to get this done. And then I'm going to rest after this. So we are going to get this 30 minutes in and we're going to do what needs to be done today because this is a really, really important topic. Oversharing is something that I see happening all the time. Oh my goodness. I see authenticity, I see oversharing happening all the time. And so I said, maybe it's time for me to really talk about knowing the line, like knowing when to draw the line between being your authentic self and, living the truth of your reality in your life versus oversharing, because oversharing is a surefire way to sabotage your leadership. Understand? And so it's important that we learn how to lead well and to steward our leadership really well from an authentic place, but not a place that is going to be burdensome to the hearer of what it is that you have to say or the people you're leading. You don't want to become a burden on those that you're actually leading, right? And sometimes oversharing can do that. And I know we may not think of it that way. Hold on a second. Lord, my mic is wet. I told y'all I'm not at 100% today. I am steady talking to y'all, and my mic was way across my desk instead of in front of me. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Harold Bed's Thoughts. Can you hear me well, sis? Let me know if you can hear me, because I have just been talking and my mic has been somewhere else. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. So come on in. You all know that I am here for a solid 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this conversation. Feel free to comment, leave your comments in the comment section. If you have questions, you can ask them. If you just want to share your experiences, you can do that. You can connect with one another. That is totally fine as well. Okay, you can hear me fine. Good, 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 good. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this so that I can get into some rest for today. So I've got some points that I want to make here with you all. You know, I'm always very intentional about what I'm sharing and how I'm sharing it so that it's meaningful to you. So the first point that I want to make today is that connection is not confession. We want to have connection and not confession. Understand this, that authenticity is about connection. When we talk about showing up as your authentic self, being genuine, using your voice, not showing up as a representative, right? Whenever we're talking about you going into a room and being comfortable in your own skin to give the world what it is that God has given you, you know, and your voice and your likeness, all that good stuff. When we talk about being authentic, you are being authentic intentionally, and sitting in a place of authenticity is always about connection, making healthy, real connections with the people that you're talking to, that you're leading, that you're networking with, whatever it is that you're doing. Even if you are an author and you're showing up in your work authentically, you need to know that your authenticity is about connection and it is not about confession. Confession is like, you know, we all know, like Catholics go to the priest and they confess their sins, right? They go into this place and they're trying to be absolved from all the things that they've done that they believe aren't pleasing to the Lord. And so they confess those sins, right? We confess to get it off our chest so that we can, you know, be absolved from it and repent and all the things. But authenticity is not about you confessing. I think a lot of times people confuse being authentic with needing therapy. Like there's one thing, you go sit with your therapist and you can say whatever you want to say and all the things is confidential and they help you work through it and process it and all that good stuff. But as a leader, your platform is not, even though it may feel therapeutic sometimes, your platform is not therapy for you. Is not. Authenticity shares what is helpful and what is relevant to your audience. I think a lot of times we get confused about why we're sharing. It's like, I'm doing this so I can feel better, so I can heal, so I can. But leadership, when we talk about really good, solid leadership, when we talk about level 5 leadership, we're talking about leaders who are leading from a place of servant leadership, right? So if you being authentic is all about helping you heal and being therapy for you and you overcoming this and that and the other, I think you're really missing a great opportunity to ensure that everything that you have gone through, that your testimony, that your witness, that your wisdom is not falling on deaf ears, because it's really not helpful when you begin to bleed on the people that you're supposed to be leading. So when you are sharing from an authentic place, right, it should be helpful and relevant to your audience. Authenticity is not you sharing everything that you feel. Oh, I feel so angry today, I'm just going to get on and tell everybody about what has happened and what I felt and okay, and how is that purposeful, helpful, intentional for the audience? If you are just coming in, hello and good morning. Today we are talking about authenticity versus oversharing and knowing where the line is and knowing where to draw the line and understanding that there needs to be a line. There needs to be a line. Yes, Harold Bestall says restructure your share. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we need those rest days. She says, I'm having a rest day too, sis. Yes, ma'am. We need our we need our rest days. So today, the first thing I want to say to you all as leaders is to remember that authenticity is about connection and not confession. You need to understand this. Please, please hear me in this. Please hear me in this. That confession without a purpose is going to damage your credibility. Please understand that. When you sit in a place of leadership and you overshare, you're confessing all the things that you did, and you are, and you're giving all the reasons why and all the things and it's coming from and it's just kind of bubbling up out of you until the people are kind of like, whoa, hold on a second. It will damage your credibility. And I can speak about this from a place of knowing and understanding. There was a time when I overshared. There was a time when I did not know that there should be a line. I felt like, even when it comes to Speak Up Sis, when I first started Speak Up Sis, I didn't realize that the Lord was leading me into a place of leadership. I saw it as, oh, we're all sisters and we're all in this together and we're holding hands and we're going to walk through. I did not realize that the Lord was positioning me to be able to help lead and guide, to coach, and to mentor women, right? Even though I know he said, Angel, you're going to feed women as they walk in purpose. As I touch them, you're going to be there to feed them, to ensure that they get what they need. Even in that time, I didn't fully understand what that meant, how it was supposed to work, and what it would look like. And so when Speak Up Sis came to fruition, when it was birthed, and all these women start to come, and the Lord's drawing all these women, I as a leader, and here's the thing, I didn't realize I was in a place of leadership at the time, but I was sharing and confessing and healing and all the things inside of the place that I was supposed to be leading. And what happened in the earlier stages of me leading Speak Up Sis, and this is me sharing with you. This is a purposeful, meaningful share so that you can see what happens, right? And I need you to understand that when you sit in a place of confession versus connection, you are going to damage your credibility when you start getting in those places with people you're supposed to be leading, and you are in there trying to be helped while you're no. And what happened, and what I know happened, the Lord allowed me to see through the years, is that there were women who were brought into the space, and they were needing what Speak Up Sis offered. They needed Angel to show up as a leader, but they looked and saw Angel look like she's damaged just like me. How's she going to help me? Leaders, if you are a leader, everybody needs community. But please understand that as a leader, the community that you're leading is not the place where you are going to be oversharing and getting the help. No, there should be spaces that you go into with people who are able to help you carry the burden that you have as a leader. That is so important. It is so, so, so very important. And I don't think we pay attention to that enough. I remember reading scripture that says that we all have our own crosses to bear. We all have our own burdens to carry, but those who help to carry the burdens of others thus fulfill the law of Christ. One thing that I had to learn is that everybody's knees and backs aren't strong enough to carry the weight of their own burdens and other people's burdens. And when you are a leader, you have to understand that your weight is not just you. As a leader, you are carrying your own weight as well as the weight of the people in the community that you sit before the Lord, so that he can take all those from you. So the people that you're leading, oftentimes their knees and their backs aren't strong enough for the weight of you and everything you carry. So you're like, oh, you want them to lift you up in prayer. Baby, they can't lift you. You too heavy. And so you've got to be careful, because when you walk into a place and you want to share everything that you're feeling and everything that you're going through with the people you're supposed to be leading and impacting from a higher place, it is going to damage your credibility with them. And they're going to leave, and they're going to go into places where it's not so heavy for them because they are already heavy. So please understand that you need to ensure that when you are sharing authentically, that you are intentional, that you are sharing this way to make connection with people and not have confession with them. Good morning, Tamika. How you doing? Thank you so much for speaking. I appreciate you. Thank you. So what is that? What is it that I want you all to try and do before sharing? Okay, for those of you who are in leadership places, especially if you are in a place where you're mentoring people, if you mentor young girls, if you are mentoring young people, you really need to be listening to this, taking notes, and putting it into practice. Because too many times adults are in mentorship roles where they're oversharing with their mentees. Like if you are mentoring teenagers, you should not be in that group sharing your own stuff. That is not, like, don't overshare, especially when you are, it's one thing to let them know that, hey, I understand you and I've been there. You can do that without getting into all the guts and gore of whatever it is and getting to a place where they're like, I don't even want to listen to you anymore. Think about parenting. You have some young people and lots of daughters who it's difficult for them to listen to their mothers because their mothers overshared so much, they saw so much, they witnessed so much, that now when they're trying to say, hey, you shouldn't do that, like their credibility is damaged. And they're like, how you can't tell me nothing because you done overshared all your stuff. Hold on a second. My glasses are foggy. I'm cleaning them. Okay. Let me know if you're tracking. Put a 1 in the comments if you're hearing what I'm saying and it's making sense to you. Put a 1 in the comments if what I am saying is making sense to you this morning. Good morning, Rachel. Rachel says, every time you open your mouth, you are speaking to me. That's what's up. That's what's up. That lets me know I'm in the right places. I appreciate you for showing up and for listening. Yes, Tamika, it is heavy. It is heavy. A lot of times when we think of leadership, we think about, all right, I see them ones in the comments. When we think about leadership, we're thinking about running companies and nonprofits and being in the C-suite and all these different running corporations, whatever. But you are a leader in your home. If you are a mother, you are a leader. You are a leader, and living an authentic life versus a life of oversharing are two different things. If you are leading children, leading daughters, you have to understand that some people are like, oh, this is my life. I'm living and I can be free. And my child, I'm not going to tell my children they can't, whatever. And then when your kids get to a place, hey, Jay Will, how you doing, brother? Your kids get to a place where they need wisdom. They can't get the wisdom from you because you have lost credibility. They got to go seek the wisdom from somewhere else because they saw you live your life in an oversharing way. You know, they saw you with the different men, or they saw you with the different women. They saw you clubbing. They saw you smoking. They saw you drinking. They saw you doing all the things. They saw you overshared it. You allowed them to see all the little nuanced places of your life, because you were like, I'm not keeping no secrets. I want my chin. Da 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 da. And now when your children need the strength of your wisdom, like your credibility is shot. It's the same way when we're talking leadership and business and things like that. How is it that you're going to tell me that you are going to help me to live in this free place, to be unencumbered and free? And every time I talk to you, you talking about how bound you are, how many attacks you under, how I'm a leader, but the enemy is always attacking me, and I'm always wrapped up in this and that and the other. But you're telling me that you're going to coach me on how to be free? No, I'm good, because clearly, right here again, I'm not saying that sharing these things is not good. I'm saying that sharing them from a place of leadership with the people that you're leading isn't healthy. It's going to ruin your witness. It's going to ruin your credibility. And those people are going to leave. The second thing that I want to talk about today, the second point that I want to make with you all. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't finish. I didn't finish what I wanted you all to try. Before sharing, I want you to ask yourself, does this serve my people or just serve my need to vent? I want you to ask yourself, before you get on camera to share, before you get on a stage to speak, before you get in front of your children, before you get in whatever capacity that you're leading, I want you to ask yourself, is what I'm getting ready to share, is it going to serve the people? Is it going to serve the person that's in front of me? Is it going to serve the audience that I'm speaking to? Or is this just going to be an opportunity for me to vent? Is it going to serve my need, my desire, my feeling to get this off my chest? And I cannot stand listening to motivational speakers. And it is insane to me when I hear people who people consider motivational. They get in front of you and then they talk all the things that done happened, I'm just like, was all of that necessary? Clearly you're sharing from this place of hurt, and you just kind of, and then at the end you just kind of put a cherry on top that said, I pushed through it all. I don't know about that. Sounded like you were hurt and still hurt, and now you want to share that hurt on to us, and you just want us to know that you didn't let it stop you. I mean, who's that serving? Who's that serving? So please be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. All right, so now we can move on. Now we can move on. Timing matters. Timing matters. Not everything needs to be shared right now. Not everything needs to be shared right now. You all know, you heard me say it so many times, that due time, God's due time is perfect time. God's due time is the perfect time. As leaders, especially if you consider yourself a visionary leader, especially if you consider yourself someone who hears from the Lord, who he talks to you about what it is he wants you to do, and he's leading you and all these kind of things. Sometimes you as a leader will be privy to information that others are not. And it may be information that needs to be shared at some point, but it doesn't need to be shared when you received it. If you're running a company and you get some information about the company that you know is going to affect your employees, as soon as you hear it, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to go tell everybody. You may need to sit and process that information. You got to sit and determine how it's going to impact people. How are you going to be able to deliver the information so that it has the most positive effect on the people, and it detracts from the hurt as much as possible, right? How are you going to be able to uplift or to edify, or how are you going to be able to present this so that it has the best, effect on the people that you're leading? So just because you know something doesn't necessarily mean you should just go talking it. I see so many people that prophet this, prophet is that, prophet this, and prophet is that, and just talking. And a lot of times it's like, it's not that what I hear you saying that I don't agree with it. Did the Lord tell you to share that right now? Are you sure about that? Listen, I don't question people in that space. I don't go in anybody's space telling anybody anything. But what I do know is that timing matters. And not everything that you know is something that needs to be shared at this moment, the moment you heard it, the moment you saw it. Leaders have to know when they are still healing from something. Oftentimes, you could be in the midst of dealing with something and you get a revelation, you get an epiphany, you get an aha moment. And the first thing you want to do is run and turn on your camera and tell social media, oh my gosh, I was just sitting here in my room and I was just going through and this was happening and that was happening. And then the Lord said, you got to know when you are still in the throes of healing from something. When you're sharing that thing, you should be sharing from a place, right, of being able to teach from that thing versus you being in the midst of healing from that thing. What is it going to serve the people if you just bleed all over them and they just trying to help patch you up? You don't even know why you bleeding. You don't even know how to stop the bleeding. You don't know. All you know is that you're just bleeding and you just see. And so now the people are more concerned about helping you get well than getting what they need. Put a 1 in the comments if you following me. I need to see it. Are y'all tracking? Am I the only one who's ever had to understand the difference between authenticity and oversharing? Am I in this by myself today? Let me tell you, I have had to sit before the Father and I've had to ask for forgiveness and repent from oversharing. I've had to ask God to please. I have prayed for some women in my quiet time, y'all. I have prayed for some women that I know I unintentionally hurt because of oversharing. Sometimes I was learning a thing. God was teaching me a thing, but I ran out too quickly to share it before I properly processed it, before I allowed him to really show me the nuances of it, before I heard the caveats he was going to give about it. I overshared and people took it and it was hurtful. And then once I got the fullness of a full understanding of what God was saying, I thought, oh my gosh, I can see how a person would have taken that. I can see how, oh gosh, I didn't mean it like that. But by then, those women were long gone. Those women had done cut me off. Those women had done went somewhere else because they was like, no, 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 no. And so I had to sit before the Lord and say, God, I'm so sorry. My timing was off. It wasn't that what I said was wrong. It was that the timing was wrong. People had to be in a place to be able to receive what it is that you're saying. You have to know who you are and what you do and why God has positioned you in this world so that you know, right, what it is you're saying, why you're saying it, when you need to say it, when you don't need to say it. Because I have learned that the Lord uses me as an agent of change, I'm now a lot slower to connect with people. I'm a lot more intentional because I understand that whenever the Lord leads a woman into my life, I know her life is in transition. I know that there's a major change that's getting ready to happen. And I'm not talking 3, 4, 5 years from now. I'm talking her life getting ready to change like quick. And whatever is getting ready to happen with her is going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult thing for her to agree with God on. It's going to be a difficult task for her to do. And the Lord will place me in that place to help her get over that, help her get beyond the hard part, to help her push through so that she can transition well. So if my timing is off, I'm going to hurt folks. And I know in the past that I have. You understand? What I'm doing right now, I'm being vulnerable and authentic with you in a way that I'm out of that thing, but now I can share it so that it is a learning space for you. So you can hear it and you can understand it. You can see yourself in it so that you can begin to make changes. But had I come into a space when I just realized, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I didn't, and it's received differently. Timing matters. I see you, to me, because she says I've overshared a time or two. Yes, I think we all have. And here again, there are spaces for leaders to overshare, but it has to be with people who have the capacity to hold what you give them. A lot of times we overshare with people who don't have the capacity to hold what we give them. And then you're like, they talking about me, they gossiping. They didn't listen, they couldn't hold it. They didn't have the capacity to hold it. They didn't have that capacity to hold on to what you shared, to carry it to the Lord, to pray for you. And they didn't have it. They didn't have the capacity. Paying attention to timing will preserve wisdom and the impact that you have. All right. Here's another to do for you. For those of you who are actually learning, you picking up what I'm putting down. You want to make you some lists. I like lists. Make you some lists. Make you 2 lists. And I need you to be honest with these lists. Y'all, excuse me. I had to get a cup of coffee today. When I'm finished with you all today, I'm just gonna go and lie down for a little bit. Make you 2 lists. One of those lists needs to say at the top, you need to head one list as ready to share. Ready to share. This is stuff that I'm able to share. I'm able to teach on these things. I'm able to share about these things. I have, I've healed through these things. I process these things. This is ready. This is my list. This is my ready to share list. And then you need to have another list, a still healing list. And that still healing list are those things that maybe one day the Lord will allow you to share. Maybe one day you will have a keynote speech about these things. Maybe one day you'll have a course that will help. Maybe one day you'll be able to share this with your children to help them, whatever. But right now it's in the still healing list. And so that's a list that, like, this ain't the time. This ain't the season. And you have to be honest with yourself about these lists. And a lot of times we compare ourselves to the people we see. And some of you you'll see Angel talking about it and think, oh, I'm gonna go talk about it too. But the things that Angel or I have healed from, you may not. The things that I have dealt with we may have dealt with the same things, but I may be way past you on that journey. And so I'm able to openly talk about it and share and help or whatever. But you may have dealt with the same thing, but you're not quite ready to be in a place where you're leading someone out of that thing or into a thing. So you got to be honest with yourself. So make you 2 lists. One ready to share. Your other list, still healing. Put that still healing list on pause. Put it on pause. All right. That's what's up, Tamika. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that. And the last thing that I want to share with you all, and you all hear me say this all the time, that sharing with purpose is super important. Y'all know Revelations 12 and 11 is one of my favorite scriptures. For they overcame him, they triumphed him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. So you all already know how I feel about sharing. I believe that being triumphant, overcoming all of the hard things of life, is about having the blood of the Lamb, right? Our Savior and our Sovereign, and sharing the word of your testimony. And the second part of that scripture says, and they did not love their lives unto the death. And so when I read that, it reminds me that it is my Savior as well as my story that helps to bring about breakthrough in my life and other people's lives as well. However, here's the caveat that I had to learn. It's the caveat that I want to express to you all today, and that you share your testimony and you share your story when it is aligned to your purpose. There are things that I don't talk about in every space because it doesn't have anything to do with the reason I'm in that space. It's just like curating your topics for speaking. You need to know, some people just want to speak and they got one thing they want to talk about all the time, and they just want to get in front of anybody who'll listen. And the truth is, every audience isn't an audience for what it is that you got that one thing to say. What you need to say needs to be purposeful for the audience in front of you. So there are certain things about what I share that I will share with this audience that I won't share with this audience. There are certain parts of my there are certain parts of the things that I know and the wisdom that I have that I know I'm able to share with this group of women that I'm not able to share with this group of women. There are certain things that are part of my witness, of my story, my testimony, whatever words you want to use for the thing that I'm going to be talking about, that I know, like this right here, if I talk about this is not going to be helpful. You got to make sure that your share aligns with purpose. You are not just sharing just for the sake of sharing. Understand that authenticity means that you share with intention. Anytime you're giving a story, you know, and y'all know I have lots of sidebars and I like to give you lots of background. And I tell people all the time, okay, I'm a teacher first. I'm a teacher. And so I'm going to give you some background, but it's going to all work together. I'm not just having these side notes and sidebars and giving back just because I want to talk and hear myself talk. No, I know in order for this group of people to really be able to grasp what I'm going to say, that I know is going to be a gut punch, I really do need to share some of these things so that it can, you know, it can tear up the fallow ground. You know what I'm saying? I gotta toll their hearts a little bit, or I have to connect with them in a place that is meaningful, so that when I say this, they'll be like, oh, okay. So you need to make sure that every time that you are connecting your story or sharing your story, needs to connect back to whatever the lesson is that you are working on. And if you're sharing without even having a lesson, a moral of the story, a reason, then why are you even sharing? It's like people who write books and ain't got any, no purpose. You finish the book and you're like, what was I supposed to learn in this? What was this? I don't even know. It's one of the issues that I have even with self-published authors now who are writing nonfiction about their lives. I'm like, come on, what was I supposed to learn from this other than you just been through a lot? Like what was purposeful about me as a reader reading this other than learning more about you? Remember, leadership is about serving others. It's not about getting stuff off your chest. It's not about doing what you want. It's not. As a leader, what you do, what you say, how you move should be with intention for the people that you serve. You should have some insight for other people, some wisdom that they can glean from. And a last step for you, before you get ready to post that post on social media, before you get ready to send that message to your mentor, mentee, or whoever, before you do it, before you get ready to post that piece of your story in any kind of public space, I want you to make sure that you attach a leadership lesson to it. Attach a leadership lesson to it. I'm talking to leaders today. All week, I've been talking about leadership, authenticity, and leadership, trying to help those of you who are leading. And here again, this is not just about leading a Fortune 500 company or leading, a church or whatever. But if you are a parent, you're a leader in your home. If you're a teacher, you're a leader in the classroom. If you're a principal, you're a leader in the school. If you're a program manager or supervisor, you're leading some people in a place of employment. All of us at some capacity are leading somebody. Some of us lead more somebodies than others. But anytime you're in a leadership capacity, you want to ensure that you show up authentically as yourself, but that you are not just spilling over your life stuff into the laps and the hearts of the people that you're supposed to be serving through your leadership. Thank you, Harold Bed's thoughts. She said, list number 1, have a ready to share list and have a still healing list. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everyone. We are a little beyond our 30 minutes. We're like at 43. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap today. I pray that this has been helpful. These are just little tips and nuggets, little bits of my own experiences that I have had an opportunity to learn and to grow as a leader of the Speak Up Sis community, as a parent, as a teacher, as someone who has led other teachers. There are lots of lessons that I have learned throughout the years. And so this 11 a.m. talk with you all is simply an opportunity for me to lead through authenticity, to model what it looks like to lead with authenticity. And prayerfully, I don't overshare in this space. And when I do, prayerfully, the people who are my mentors and people who are in those intimate circles with me will say, girl, you overshared today, so that I can course correct. But I thank you all. I pray that you continue to grow in your leadership. I pray that you just simply continue to grow beautifully in authenticity. If you are not already connected to Speak Up Sis Magazine, I welcome you to do that. Visit speakupsismagazine.com. It's a beautifully curated space for you to come and share your personal and or professional brand stories authentically in order to inspire the stories of others. And with that, everybody, y'all have a beautiful, there we go. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your day. And prayerfully, I will see you all tomorrow on Friday. And what are we talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about becoming the leader that you needed. Oh, gosh, that's going to be good. Becoming the leader that you needed. So I'll see you all on tomorrow to wrap up this little mini series on authenticity and leadership. Have a great